اجلاس دوستان ایران آزاد در پارلمان اروپا با حضور نمایندگان گروه‌های مختلف پارلمانی.
سخنرانیهای میلان فردریک استفانی کورتن، پتراس آستراویچیوس، لاروتورو، دکتر آلخو ویدال کوادراس.
حمایت سخنرانان از آلترناتیو دموکراتیک شورای ملی مقاومت و برنامه 10 ماده‌ای مریم رجوی برای ایران آینده و نفی هر نوع سیستم دیکتاتوری اعم از شاه و شیخ در ایران.
فراخوان مجدد به شورای اروپا برای لیستگذاری تروریستی سپاه پاسداران و به رسمیت شناختن حق مقاومت ایران در برابر حکومت آخوندی.
پتراس استفانی. موضع جوزف بورل در مورد لیستگذاری تروریستی سپاه پاسداران شرم‌آور است.
As you rightly said, well, I don't think, we will disagree on your description of Mr. Borrell's action. It's really not just a disgrace, but I think that position is no position. If we follow that policy line, where we will end up. I didn't mention one of the arguments more, to be raised by us. It's Iran's participation, direct participation in the Russian aggression against Ukraine. Recently, I heard about some possible financial flows, how they organize, for example, the payments for those drones, Iranian drones, probably going through Hezbollah. Russians might finance Hezbollah on behalf of Iran, and that's how they repay each other in a way which supports international terrorism. So that's why the situation is unsustainable. We don't take Mr. Borrell's reply as a final one, and we don't believe that this position contributes somehow in support of our belief that we still see GCPOA as a vehicle for our negotiations on nuclear disarmament of Iran.
میلان از تلاش‌های خانم مریم رجوی برای ایجاد دموکراسی در ایران قدردانی می‌کنم.
Madam Rejvi, Madam President, I'm happy to be today with you and with my colleagues. I've been following the situation in Iran closely for a while now, and I'm extremely concerned about the human rights situation in Iran. People of Iran are struggling and demanding regime changes. I believe it is unacceptable that EU response is not in line with the realities on the ground in Iran. I am disappointed that the European Foreign Affairs Council did not follow the call of the European Parliament to add the Revolutionary Guards on the EU terrorist list. By the way, my name is Milan and I am on the list, but from the Iranian regime as well. And but
we are blacklisted.
We are on the blacklist.
Milan,
yes.
and I,
Okay. Maybe it's not fun situation. But failure of the EU to designate the Iranian guards as a terrorist organization is contrary to the demand of the Iranian people and is putting the security of Europeans at risk. These guards is by nature a terrorist entity, and it functions as a terrorist organization and has been responsible also for many terrorist attacks outside of Iran. So what we need to do is we need to continue to work within the EU for additional measures and sanctions. I think that your team in European Parliament has worked well, achieved many success events, and I think that the last resolution which was adopted in European Parliament is one of the top of struggle of your team in Brussels. To conclude, I would like to thank Mrs. Rejui for your efforts to bring democracy and peace in Iran.
Thank you, Milan. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
فردریک ریس: نه تنها سپاه پاسداران باید در لیست تروریستی قرار بگیرد، بلکه باید خامنه‌ای و رئیسی هم تحریم شوند.
Parliament supports you. I was one of the negotiators of the resolution. I negotiated on behalf of Renew. You've mentioned the inclusion of the Revolution Guards on the EU blacklist. It's a strong move, and you just have to mention the reaction of the High Rep to see that it is unanimously accepted. Not only that, only the fact of mentioning the president and also the supreme leader, Mr. Khamenei, the persons that have to be sanctioned also was, one heavy point of discussion. I just wanted to add something that hasn't been mentioned yet because it's important for us also. It's the very delicate mission that is ours and duty that is ours to be very firm and very strong and very ambitious. France has 7 hostages in Iran. We Belgian, we have the case that you very well know, I know, because of what's happened with our Supreme Court in Belgium, Olivier van de Castel. There's more than 20 hostages. And so it is difficult for us, and this is why the reason we are proud to remain very firm on what has to happen there, and at the same time have a strong focus on the humanitarian case of our hostages there. This is, the one difficult point that I wanted to include in our discussions, because it is the situation, this scandalous, en français you say la diplomatie des otages, hostages diplomacy, well, in between, quote, quote, that they use also against us. Thank you so much.
استفانی کورتن: ما در کنار مردم بسیار شجاع ایران ایستاده ایم. ما در پارلمان اروپا و در فرانسه از شما خانم رجوی حمایت می‌کنیم.
Coming a bit late, I'm Stefanie Courtin from the Renew group. I'm a French MEP, and I just wanted to assure you of my support together with all my colleagues here, and I just wanted to tell you how much we think of you, we support you at the European Parliament and also in France, talking with other friends, other national parliamentaries. And I've been following the situation in Iran closely for a while now, and I'm really sad of what's going on. And so, of course, we need to act more on our side. I think the European Parliament has made a lot these past days, but we definitely need to engage and to ask our governments to do more. And at the EU level, will be the best. We had this discussion with Alkhou yesterday, and I think together we are stronger. So that's why we need to act at the European level. And I'd like Joseph Borrell to take concrete actions, help you, of course, and to help us all to defend your ideas, people of Iran are suffering a lot. They are very courageous, and we cannot leave our friends like that. So we are at your disposal, really, and we do whatever I can to help, of course.
لاروتورو: رژیم ایران یک رژیم تروریستی است. ما با دوستانی که خواهان آزادی در ایران هستند در کنار خانم مریم رجوی ایستاده ایم.
With her this morning. When I hear you, I remember what happened in 1989. I have in my room a picture when the wall of Berlin fell. And I remember what said Václav Havel: the people wake up, the people want freedom and democracy, and nobody can stop the people who wake up and who want democracy and freedom. And in 1989, the people win in Germany, in Czechoslovakia, and I hope that in 2023, the people will win for democracy and freedom in Iran. And of course, all together from different groups, politics, we want to help you. We are 100%, 200% agree with you. Of course, we must push to have a better, stronger position of Europe. I know Josep Borrell, it's not easy for him because of the unanimity principle. The 27 countries must be agree to, if Josep Borrell want to speak, so it's not easy, but we must push and push and push. And yes, it's a terrorism regime, and yes, you are a woman with friends who want freedom and liberty, and we are with you to help you. Thank you.
دکتر آلخو ویدال کوادراس: خانم رجوی، شما نشان دادید امکان تغییر رژیم ایران وجود دارد. برنامه 10 ماده‌ای شما یک دستور کار سیاسی است که هر دموکراتی میتواند آن را امضا کند و من فوراً آن را امضا میکنم.
So good morning, Mrs. President. It is a great pleasure, as always, to join you, and most especially in the company of such good friends, all united in our common purpose to have regime change in Iran and to have freedom and democracy for the Iranian people. Indeed, along all these years, the steadfast work of the NCRI and the PMOI has been for us very inspiring. And you have demonstrated that the possibility, the reality of having regime change in Iran is not a dream, it's at reach. And the present uprising of the Iranian people is also a proof of that. The repression on the protest has been really terrible, murderous, criminal. The mullahs have done everything in their power to suppress this protest. They have killed, they have beaten the people to death, they shoot the people with live ammunition in the streets. Hundreds of people have lost their lives. It's really a scandal that the international community has not yet reacted to in a proportion to the crimes that the Iranian regime is committing against its own people. You have said something that it's worth to underline. The people in Iran do not want any dictatorship. They reject the Shah dictatorship and they reject the religious dictatorship. They want freedom and democracy, and they do not want to go back to experiences in the past that have failed so miserably. The 10-point plan is really an agenda, political agenda, that any Democrat in Western democracies could sign. I could sign it immediately because everything there is what a true Democrat wants. Separation of religion and state, equality between men and women, free elections, respect for all political persuasions, respect for all religions, freedom of religion, autonomy and recognition of ethnic minorities, an autonomy for instance, for Kurdistan in, of course, in a united Iran. So free enterprise, friendship with all other countries in the world, reject of nuclear weapons. So the 10-point plan, I could say, Mrs. Rajvi, is something that we all support, and it's an example that many countries in the world should follow. In relation to the listing of the Revolutionary Guards, I must express my concern about what my compatriot, double compatriot, because of Spanish and because of Catalan, Josep Borrell. So we are twice compatriots, because we come both from the same region in Spain, Catalonia, and we are both Spanish, of course. And my double compatriot has made a statement that, frankly, is difficult to comment, because the decision of blacklisting a terrorist organization is a decision of the executive branch. A court has nothing to say. No. A court can remove an organization from the list, yes, which is completely different. In fact, when the NCRI and the PMOI in the past did unjustly and unfairly, because of a political agreement in that time of Jacques Chirac, Tony Blair, and Bill Clinton, that they agreed to blacklist unjustly. The courts in Europe, in Washington, in Luxembourg, in London, the courts removed our friends from the list. But when Borrell says that it's necessary to have a court decision, to say it mildly, he's not telling the truth, let's say it mildly, okay? And it's just an excuse. It's just a pretext. And we are very disappointed about this, because the Parliament has been very clear in the resolution, and let's hope that the Council and the Commission will listen to the Parliament. The Revolutionary Guards are terrorists, and they must be blacklisted. Just to finish my intervention today, I must say something we have repeated many times, but we must repeat it again. Decades of appeasement have given no result. Decades, 40 years of appeasement have given no result. It is time for the European Union to back the struggle of the Iranian people for democracy and freedom, and it's time for the European Union to support the Iranian opposition, the NCRI, that you, Mrs. President, so bravely and so intelligently you lead. The present uprising, the sacrifice of the Iranian people these days, is a unique opportunity to isolate the regime internationally, and it's an opportunity we cannot and we should not miss. We thank you for your presence and for your words. It's always so encouraging. inspiring to listen to you and to see you. And my friend Petras Ostrovicius has asked me to tell you, Mrs. President, that as a result of this meeting, we take the decision, all of us here, to write a letter to the High Representative, to Josep Borrell, signed by as many members as we can, with two points. One, to insist that they, Council, Commission, they must blacklist the Revolutionary Guards. This is the first point. And we will insist in this letter that they must listen to Parliament and blacklist the Revolutionary Guards. And the second point is that the present uprising of the Iranian people against the religious dictatorship must be backed by the European Union, increasing the political, diplomatic, and financial pressure on the regime as a way to help these people that are sacrificing their lives. So thank you very much, Mrs. President. And as you know, we will go on until final victory.